Julia from Julia Teaching Resources, and thank you so much for joining me in this video tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about rhythm cards and rhythm flashcards more specifically, and I think I've got 7 ways for you to use them in class and how you can use them. And I have to say, this has come off exactly what I was doing with my classes at the end of last term. So I'm back at work yesterday we had a staff development day, and today's our first day back with the kids today for our term 3. And this is, if you're watching the recording some point in the future, this is July 2022. But as I said, I was doing this, using these rhythm cards with my own classes, my year 9s and 10s. I do this sort of stuff with year 7s in the beginning of the year, but part of the problem was, and sorry, there's a train going by there if you can hear that. Part of the problem was because of COVID, there's a lot of basics and things that the kids have forgotten, and because they didn't necessarily, we've had so many, painful things that have come out of COVID, but there's been some great things come out of COVID, but there's also been some really difficult things for the kids, and in terms of getting them where their skill levels are at. So, I wouldn't normally be teaching this stuff to my year 9s and 10s at this point of the year, but I had to because we needed to. So let's start sharing the old screen and let's get this party started so we can do this. Alrighty, so didn't mean to be there. Let's go back to here, and I will go back to, there we go. Alrighty, so as I said, we're going to do lesson ideas for teaching rhythm and using flashcards in the classroom. So I'll show you what I've got and what I've been using, and literally what I've been using in my own class with my kids. So welcome. As I said, I'm going to give you seven lesson ideas for using the rhythm flashcards, which I've got a few different ways you can buy them in my store, but I'll show you a couple of sets. We'll have a look at the rhythm flashcards, and then I'll give you a few more tips and ideas, because there's a few things, other things that I've been doing with these after I put this together. It's like, oh, I should have added that in. But, you get that. So I said, we've got some teaching ideas for using flashcards. So first one, the one thing I like about this, so this particular set, I must say, I did this a couple of years ago. When I say a couple of years ago, I think I made them in 2017. So slightly apologise for the polka dots, but I quite like them. They're still quite cute. And obviously my kids were going, oh, they're so nice, miss. But the thing is, they were designed to display as and take up the whole screen, and you're displaying them on your whiteboard, okay, interactive whiteboard, or just your projector, whatever you're using, okay. And the thing is, they take up the whole screen. So they're nice and big, so no matter where the student is in the class or how big your classroom is, they can see it. So there's quite a few different levels, which I'll talk about later, but one of the best things is you can display them, and once you've got them displayed, then you can do lots of different things with them. The next one is to have them as part of a lesson warm-up or cool down, and this is actually how I actually use it with my kids. Is I literally have a tub of drumsticks like that I have. My drumsticks I actually put on electrical tape with different colors, because when we're using them with bucket drumming, it wrecks the sticks, okay. But I have a box of sticks, and I'd say, okay, pick up a set of sticks, pick up a mat, all right, and I'll talk about this a bit more later, and then we're going to get started. So once the roll's marked, the kids are all ready to go, and we get started. And as I said, it's a great way to start the lesson off on a really strong way, very, very musical way, okay. You could, as I said, do it as a cool down. Personally, I didn't, but it might be a really good settling activity before your kids go off to another classroom, because sometimes, let's face it, I know I happen to stir my kids up a bit, and they're going to another class. They've, been excited playing stuff in music, and then they go to another class. I have to apologise to that teacher. But sometimes, yeah, depending on what you're doing with your kids, sometimes fantastic as a lesson starter or as a cool down. The other thing, get kids to take turns. Whoops, sorry, turn that off. It's rather cold here tonight. Okay, so have students take turns. So the thing is, you wouldn't do this straight away. You'd actually have a good go at this, have a good few lessons where the kids are started to get really comfortable. And once they get comfortable, get them kids to actually take turns of being a rhythm leader. Now, depending, again, on your class, so I had some very reluctant kids to do this, and I had some very confident kids that were more than happy to be the leader. And, you get them to do it. So da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da, that particular rhythm. I forgot there was a crotch that one. I thought was another rest, but get them to do it, and then the rest of the class copies. Okay, get them to play, get them to copy, and then the next student takes takes a turn when you change the actual rhythm. Also, they're fantastic to use as ostinatos, make them into little rhythmic ostinatos, and use percussion instruments with them, and try making 2 and 4 bar rhythms. So what I did with my kids is because I actually use these cards. Okay, so these are some of them. Sorry, it's a bit hard to see. Let me get a color that might be a bit easier to see. There we go. These cards. All right. So I had, this is just the set A one, and there's 5 different levels in set A. All the others have 10, but this one only has 5 levels. But I got the kids into 5 different groups. Okay, and gave them a set each. And but we did this as a class first. So what we did was we actually chose a couple of rhythms and went, okay, what do we like? And we made some ostinatos. Okay, and we made a 4 bar one first. And they went, oh, that's too hard to play, miss. So, well, how can we fix that? Let's shorten it, make it a 2 bar. Great. So we made it a 2 bar one. And then we did several of those ones together using the rhythms that these guys had. Okay. And then we played it as a class. And I always get them to swap parts so that, each, say if you do 3 different ostinatos, I do that because I have them across the board, written 3 bars thing. So this the 3 things. Anyway. Then you get, okay, divide the class up and go, all right, you're ostinato 1, ostinato 2, ostinato 3, and then you play it a couple of times, right? And then you swap it around so that they all get a go to have it go. Then what the best thing is to do after this, and I think I'll talk about this in a moment, is actually get them to do their own. So you get them in the small groups with their actual rhythms to compose their own 2 and 4 bar ostinatos and perform it together. Try using different instruments to play the rhythms. So I said, I do desk drumming. Normally with my year 7s, we do bucket drumming, and I do these rhythms with my kids with the buckets. But as I said, my year 9s and 10s needed some rhythm work because we were doing duration or rhythm, the concept of music duration or the element of music rhythm. And they were really struggling just to recognize different patterns. They were just struggling to recognize time signatures, all those sorts of things. And I was like, okay, we need to get back to basics. So I decided that we'd do desk drumming. So as I said, these are literally, I bought these at Aldi, which is a supermarket here in Australia, a while ago. They were on sale. There were 6 of these that were for $5, I think. They're supposed to be chopping mats, like food chopping mats, but they have a rough side and a smooth side because I was making dents in the desks, in my desk, which I wasn't real keen about. So, oops, sorry, my drumsticks dropped down. But the kids got these, they put that on their desk, and then as I said, we would just play away and use that as our drum pad. It did save the desks quite a bit. And it was nice because they're nice and small. That's all they need. They didn't need anything fancy. They didn't need anything too big, but it was a great size to actually use in the classroom. And there's different colours, and of course the kids like the different colours. But bucket drumming is great for this activity, obviously, as well. As I said, I just wasn't getting the buckets out. And I think I've got on the next slide is to use djembe drumming. Now, a couple of the things I do, all right, so some of these rhythms obviously have rests. Okay, so if I show you that particular one, okay, and it's got a rest. Now, depending on what you're doing and depending on your class, what I do sometimes is, especially when we're using sticks, to get them to put the rest in, I make them do a click. So it was, ta, 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 click, ta, 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 click. Okay. And the other thing I have to find out, it's interesting watching my kids, is they're not actually using the left, right, left, right, left, right. Some kids were trying to do it all with one hand. It's like, no. You need to use both hands. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to play the semiquavers and or your 16th notes. Okay. Really easily. So, but as I said, sometimes it's good for the rest, and I say to them, look, this is a rest, you're not supposed to make a sound, but I want to make sure we've got a sound in there. And I actually like doing the clicks because there's da 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 da, and it's a lot of fun. But if you're going to play it on the djembes, again, to be able to put the rest in there, I do a hand clap. So what I normally do for the djembe drumming, okay, is if it is a quarter note, what I say to my kids, if it's a quarter note, that is the middle of the drum. if it is a pair of quavers or 16th notes, which is right there, top of the drum, okay? And then if it's a rest, a clap. So again, if we were doing, let me see, just I'll pick that one up again. So this particular rhythm, okay, so if it would be, if this is the top of the drum, that's the middle of the drum, da da boom, da 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 boom, da 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 da. And once they get into that nice little rhythm, can make some really nice little rhythms, and they have fun playing them, especially on the djembes if you're introducing rhythm as on different instruments. So desk drumming definitely, bucket drumming definitely, and then if you can have djembes or chibanos or congas or whatever you happen to have, any sort of drums, it'd be great. And the other one is, as I said, I talked about it a little bit late before, was to use for small group composition activities. And again, these are fantastic because what I loved about it is the kids could choose, because I've got great kids of varying ability, okay, and they could choose the rhythms that they could play. And then they would just go, okay, I'm going to do this one and this one. And then I'd get them to play it. And I would say, well, which order do you need to do it in? Okay. And then the next thing was, okay, can you actually play it and keep yours going while the next person adds theirs? And there's the next one adds theirs. And honestly, it's a great composition activity. It could lead into, how many times you're going to play it, how many are you going to swap parts, are you going to have another set of ostinatos or ostinati that you're going to play? There's so many ways that you could actually develop this. And again, do you keep them on percussion instruments? Do you keep them all bucket drumming? Others, or do you have combinations of instruments that they're playing? It's just a nice way to get that composition where they don't really have to think about making up a rhythm. Okay, they're not, that's taken away from them, that scariness of actually making up a rhythm that's correct, because these rhythms are correct. There's nothing wrong with these rhythms, okay? But it means that they can actually go, well, if I put this one together, that's actually going to sound all right. Or, oh, that's actually too hard to play. Let's swap the order, okay? It's up to the kids, but I said they found it really, really great way to get composing simply. Really simple, and they found it really good. And I said, I got great results. The kids had a ball. It was a really lovely lesson. So what could you use? So I said, this particular bundle here, there are 4 sets. Now, set A only has 5 sets of 15 cards. All the other sets have 10 sets of 15 cards. The reason being that set A is only using crotchets, pairs of quavers, and crotchet rests, or quarter note rests, pairs of 8th notes, okay? And the other ones have combinations of 16th notes, as well as like I say ta tika or tika ta, or what was the kids were saying, Mitsubishi. No, that's the Mitsubishi, is just 16th notes. And I think another one was Subaru. Can't remember what they used for the other one. I know they were being silly, making up car names. I said, I don't mind how you do it as long as you remember it. But that's why the other groups, they have that. Now, rhythms are repeated, but the whole idea of this flashcard bundle is if you actually go from the beginning through to the end, okay, is that kids are repeating and they're getting used to it. They're sight reading, they're performing, they're making connections about what they're actually seeing on the screen or on the card, and actually performing it. And I'll see it, they work really, really well. So many, I love these things. I use them. I have used them for years. Okay. And my daughter, of course, is trying to call me. Okay. So as I said, set A has got 5 levels with 15 cards, and you can see there that that's what set A uses. They're the notes. Then set B uses those notes. Okay. So 10 levels with 15 rhythm cards. And each level's a different color. Okay. Set C uses all those. Okay, so you can see it's being built on. And set D has both what I call tar tika and tika ta. I think it's supposed to be tea tika. I don't know, but I find it easier to say tar tika. The kids know what I'm talking about. It doesn't really matter what you call it, as long as they know what it actually means and how to play it. That uses both of them. So again, we're just, each time it's building on their rhythm notation and what they can do. So don't forget, if you like these sorts of things, one of the best things is these ones aren't laminated because it's easier to see. on the screen here, and this is what you can actually see in that photo there. But they fit into a Ziploc bag. Now, this is printed 4 to a page. You could obviously print them whole page, or you could print 2 to a page, or probably even smaller if you wanted to, but I find this is a good size for actually manipulating and actually holding. Okay, they work really well, store really well into a plastic case or a storage container, like we get like Chinese food in it, or Indian food, your takeaway containers, those sort of things, they fit in there really well. Or I said, a nice little Ziploc bag, the sandwich size is a good one too. But if you prefer to actually save yourself some money, I would suggest go to the back, get yourself a back to school bundle, because there's so much more in there, which is going to really help you with that back to school. These are resources you're going to use for years. So you buy it once. It will take a while to set up, okay, all the games and all the cards and all that sort of stuff. But once you got it, you don't have to do it again. Honestly, my original set, I said I did these in 2017. I still have them. I still use them. And there's nothing wrong with them. Like the kids, like I said, use them every year. They're doing great. So don't forget, if you like this, I've got plenty of resources over in my Teachers Pay Teacher store that you can go and have a look at. And there's links to those other products in the description below. If you'd like a free copy of my Elements of Music mind maps, don't forget to go to that address, juliajulia.com/free mind maps. Again, you can get those anytime. And also, don't forget, there's plenty of information over on my blog about the Elements of Music at juliajulia.com. So let me just stop share. I know I've been fairly quick tonight. I thought it was going to be longer. But anyway, there's so many ways you can use this, and honestly, helping the kids actually learn these rhythms and making sure that they can actually play them. And then after they can play them, they can actually hear them in the music. They go, oh, that's so much easier to actually notate. There it is, isn't it? So again, so many uses for those. So until next time, I'm Julia from GU Teaching Resources, and thanks for watching. Bye.